So they just did a songwriters list, like the best songwriters, Hove, Phineas, Dua Lipa. I like the list. I agree with the list. No complaints there. Pretty much X who accomplished a lot in their career, onward, forward. No complaints there. I like the list. I like the list. I enjoyed it. So pretty good list. It was like 30 artists. 30 artists. I mean, the songwriters list. That was cool. That was cool. BMI and ASCAP, they do most of the dictating for songwriting. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal because you want to be acknowledged for your pen, to have a good pen. So that's nice. Speaking about his creative process, and he said he wished that he had the things that the younger generation had when he was developing as a writer, artist, entrepreneur, to help foster and further his goals and all the ambitious things that he was pursuing. So he said, I wish I had some of the things that y'all have now. And he did say he liked like the things that's coming out, like soon to come out, and the things that's like he like it. He also said, y'all don't even know what it feel like for me to be like, I wish I had some of the things y'all had. That's just a whole different aspect. So I like the interview from that perspective. I enjoyed that. There's a couple of things that he said. There's a couple of things that he said that I enjoyed. He spoke about Biggie. He was like, you could just hear some of the cadences and like enjoying classical tones from people from the era of music prior to. I can hear jazz, I can hear blues, I can hear soul. Just the way that some of his tones, the tone of his voice, and some of the speed of his voice, like how he says things, you can say things faster, you can say things slower, like talking a little, like just cadences. So I enjoyed it from that perspective. I feel like the other interview that he did with GQ magazine was more informative to like culture and business and mindset, and I feel like the New York Times interview was just more music. So I enjoyed the interview. So y'all could check out both of the interviews, GQ interview and the New York Times interview. I enjoyed it. Shout out to NY for that. Y'all got to see these pictures. Like DJ Khaled they like put out a record, did something, and like they did a magazine shoot for the Rock Nation blog, and he had gifted him a BMW, a 1991 BMW, and they had got it, I don't want to say, they had got some of the parts remodeled and painted over, but it's a really nice wheel. A BMW UM 1991, a red, I want to say more red burgundy color. And you know, Khaled, he went in like he driving it down the E-way, like downtown, like he got the roof off, like, so it was a funny moment. And Khaled in Khaled fashion. So I like seeing that, and I like seeing that. So we're gonna go into this snippet, and this actually the Rock Boys freestyle to commemorate just like where we at, like as music, not just as people, but as music, like where we are. So y'all could listen to that and enjoy it, maybe 20 seconds of it. So
I can't flinch at the pain, and the pain is deep. The drug game is really the cocaine, baby. You ain't leaving the streets how you came in it. Honestly, heaven or hell now, they better not end up with me, yo.
I wrote this record how I do records, like as of now, like writing Neptunes. Most of the songs for Neptunes, I was reading. I read a lot. Maybe I read like, I don't want to say books, but maybe I read like 5,000 pages of novels. to further my thinking process. So that's kind of how I move, how I broaden the scope of the topics that I spoke on in Neptunes. I like the second verse. I feel like the second verse in Rock Boys is probably one of the best verses that I've written. So, and it's definitely a good verse. Neptunes overall, I categorize it as a reggae project. Like, I feel like in the States, they have their own blend of hip hop and reggae. To me, that's how I would categorize it, as like the States version of that, of like Lucky Dube, obviously Lucky Dube, Vibes Cartel, like their version of that. I want to say even more artists, like recent artists like Shinsaya. That's like the States version of that. I would categorize it as more of a reggae, like a reggae tone to me. Like that's the tone. That's how I would describe it. Like sonically, culture that's different. So yeah, that's how I would categorize Neptune. So the intro starts off for me, and I think for me and the Rock Boys Freestyle was probably the first songs that I wrote. And Rock Boys Freestyle is like one of my favorite verses. The second verse is probably one of my favorite verses that I've written in a while. So yeah, so hope y'all enjoy it. So, and reggae culture is kind of changing. They also like talk shows. They like talk shows too. They like talk shows too, but like overseas in here, like reggae culture and how reggae, like that's kind of how they classify it over here. And overseas they got their own thing, but they like talk shows. So they like college. They like young ambitions. They like young people furthering their goals and becoming successful. That's like a thing that they like, and it's a good thing to be celebrated. So that's also good. Computer culture, like what do they do computer culture as like a Sudanese man, as an Afro-Caribbean man? I would say the first computer that I ever saw, they had like a traditional desktop with the big back on it with like the windows where you press it up and it goes dun 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 dun. Like they had the original windows. Like, but my grandfather, like, he was a teacher. His name was Benjamin Chalet. He passed away. R.I.P. my grandpa, but love him to death. And he always had a typewriter. He used to type like articles and newsletter. He was a teacher. So, and he actually taught a lot of the people he favored Ellen's election. And yeah, he taught a lot of people. He didn't really teach me nothing. The only thing he taught me was like fried chicken in the morning and like oil your hair. Like we didn't have those conversations. He fucked with me, but we didn't really have those conversations. And yeah, he passed away. He had Alzheimer's. So it was cool. Love him, but that's like a computer story that we could have. And Neptunes as a reggae project, I feel like I did good. I feel like I did pretty good. In astrology, it's like the last planet, and they have like a diamond, like something in the weather, the temperature, like how fast it circles. It takes like 170 years for it to make it like a full cycle around the sun. One of the coldest planets, but also one of the hottest planets in the core, or something like that. I may be butchering this, but it makes diamonds. Like chemists, physics and mathematics aside. So, but all of that, that planet cultivates diamonds. So pretty cool, and they have like a very good moon. That's Poseidon. It's Poseidon's planet. Astrology aside, like just numerically. Yeah, so that was an inspiration for it. A more funny note, Bathing Ape just dropped. Bathing Ape just dropped the. Bathing Ape just dropped a collab with Hello Kitty. Bathing Ape dropped a collab with the creator of Hello Kitty with his Bathing Ape Scenario, and I'm bringing it up because that was the last one of the more promoted meetups that they had. Like, you could go to a Bathing Ape event, and you didn't necessarily have to buy it online. You could actually go to Bathing Ape event and just cop the Bathing Ape things. I showed some of them, which was the embroidery, the woman's embroidery shirt, the woman embroidering like the classical babe with the animal mouth out, but these ones are modified and they got like the Hello Kitty, they're Hello Kitty inspired. So definitely cool, expensive. Like the cheapest one is probably like $75. The most expensive one I saw was like $500. But if you like your kid, you get them Hello Kitty stuff, and we like cats, obviously. So it's a cool thing to see. Shout out Babe for that. I like Babe a lot, so that's at least something I could give my daughter. So definitely for sure, because they like modeling. Like we like modeling. I'm trying to keep it in the States, but we like modeling. But shout out Babe for that. It's like the last thing I'm gonna do to touch on it. Like if you see like in that area, like us who are kind of thin, a little lanky, and have a lanky frame, we're like 9 times out of 10, somewhere along the line, someone in your family or someone close to you was in that fashion. So I know I'm very talented in music, and but obviously if you have like the type of you have the type of build and the type of acumen for modeling, so obviously you make music. So not necessarily saying you have to be successful, just that type of person. So, but moving on, yeah. Shout out to Babe for that. It's the 10-year anniversary of Drake's Views, and I like the project. Good project. Like, I was listening to it maybe once an hour, 2 hours ago, and it was nice. It was nice. Like, it was really nice. It was like 5 songs. I like the one with Party Next Door, Tory Lanez, and him with You. That's a banger. I don't know why I didn't get a video, but you understand when you have a project with, you're so busy and you have a project with multiple hits, something slipped through the cracks. But yeah, with You, Tory Lanez, Party Next Door, and Drake with You, that's fire. And I liked Hotline Bling. I like the video. It was cool. It was just a cool record. I really liked it. And I would say I like it. I would say I like the project a lot. In my perspective, the most thing the critiques I would have about the project, I would say, because you can't just you have to take the good with the bad. I feel like the advance that he took from Apple is like a conversation instead of taking equity from Apple. He's still like the most streamed artist. So this is very successful, but I just feel like he could have been compensated more, but nothing negative to say. I think he deserves more. So I like Views. Shout out to Drake for that. 10-year anniversary. Shout out to Drake for that. Shout out Drake for that. And where I feel like, speaking on business, like music business, I feel like right now they doing a lot of exclusives. People are just straight up buying people catalogs, and moving back and forth. Managers are going from this place to this area. Hard drives are moving. So artists are doing different types of things. So I don't know, I feel like you really have to really be centered where you are. And shout out to Rock Nation for that, so shout out to Rock Nation. I just feel like they took really good care of their creatives, is what I'm saying. And yeah, that's where I'm at music wise. That's where I'm at music wise.